6 o'clock. So actually it's 2 minutes after 6, so we'll get started. Thanks everybody for coming out this evening. First thing is we're going to call to order here and first order of business here is we're going to elect some officers. So as it is, we have Tommy and Amber absent. Everybody else is here. So at this juncture, we need to entertain some nominations for chairman of this subcommittee. To be honest with you, after long discussion with the mayor, I'm not in a place where I need to be chairing any subcommittees at this point. So I can pretty much keep my agenda out of everything. So at this point, let's see, would there be any nominations for chairman?
Dave Thomas.
Would there be any other nominations? Would there be any other nominations? Would there be any other nominations? No. No? All right, then I'll make a motion nominations cease and we elect David Thomas as chair by acclamation. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. The gavel is yours, sir. How did you know this was going to happen? So what happens, man? I was warned about failing up. That's what's going on.
All right, well, since I've been put in my spot, the next one up is vice chair. Do I have any nominations for vice chair?
Nominate Beverly.
Is she secretary? You secretary? No. Who is secretary?
I was secretary for building.
For building, okay.
So I will suggest, if you're nominating for your vice chair, that vice chair and secretary can't be the same person.
Retract my nomination.
Amen. I nominate Alan Carmen.
All right, I've got a nomination for Alan Carmen. Do I have any others? Anybody else? Anybody else?
I make a motion that nomination cease and we elect Alan by acclamation.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Alan, you're vice.
So moved.
Over here and draw.
You better hope Dave's always here.
So, for secretary now, do I have any nominations for secretary?
Hopefully I would.
Okay. Anybody else? Well, you're the only one left, Mark, so. Well,
I make a
hearing none.
motion that nomination cease and we elect Beverly by acclamation.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, there we go. We've got our officers. Alan, you're not on personnel also, are you? Okay. There for a second, I thought you were going to be vice chair there too. All right, so pretty short, purpose of this committee. We've kind of combined both solid waste and buildings. We've got a jail complex, which is a building. We've got the admin building that needs to be improved. I know there's some things I've talked with Cliff over the past years that we can improve at solid waste. So I look forward to being able to work together to come up with some ideas to help Cliff out in his endeavors. Cliff, is there anything in particular that you're wanting to bring to our attention?
There's a couple of things we'll have to talk about next meeting. I don't have everything in front of me right now. One is, the trash cans around town. I know, we talked about it in Parks and Rec meetings previous. I've talked to several of the surrounding counties on how they do their, trash can service inside the city limits as far as the door-to-door stuff goes. So we'll have to discuss that. There's a couple of other things, but unfortunately, I just don't have any of that in front of me today.
I know that you and I had talked about the commercial side of the cans, the situation there. I would like to dive off into that a little bit in the next meeting also. as far as possibly coming up with some way that it's not a burden on the county. If we're picking up trash for our commercial entities, that should be a break even or a profitable thing to help offset the door to door.
Right,
And we need to work on that.
okay, yeah.
Is there anything that any of you would like to bring up for the next meeting? Any issues that y'all have seen?
Parks and Rec?
For this one?
Yeah.
No, I was referring for the next meeting we have.
It's been light. I mean, we've had very little meetings. There's been very little going on in this regard.
Yeah.
No, I don't. You know, the jail is still the pink elephant in the middle of the room.
Yeah. I know the administration building, the mayor should be getting close to making a decision on the codes and zoning officer. So when that happens, then we'll hire a second person for that position. So when that happens, it'd be a great time to have that office squared away. Whatever we need to do, talking with Cliff, looking at the blueprints of that building, that office needs to have more space. She's got no storage. If any of y'all have been in that office, she's got stuff stacked to the ceiling. How she finds anything is beyond me. But she's been doing a good job of maintaining that office, and we need to make some room there. And I know there's some other offices who are wanting to kind of spread out a little more too, and there's a little bit of a fight for who gets the old clerk's office. So we need to make some decisions on that and figure out what we're gonna do laying out that building. So those are the only things that I have for the next meeting. Look forward to working through some issues and trying to make some headway on some of these things that might have been either forgotten about or just dismissed altogether. I'm not one to kick things down the road. We either make a decision on it one way or another, or, you know, and just leave it at that. I don't care if we make a decision. I just want, you know, I want something to be said about the subject and then just move on as. So, yeah. What you got? Hit your mic for me. Yep.
Where did we ever come to on the generator?
I've got a couple of bids in, one from Bransford Electric in Lafayette, and then the one from the cat guy that brought it to us. They're two different generators. We're not comparing apples to apples, but I do have the quotes from both.
Well, do you have a preference? Do you have one that you would lean to more than the other?
I personally would just prefer the cat. This other one I'm not familiar with. I'm gonna look the name up of it as we speak. She sent it to me a couple of weeks ago. When we first, and I've got another bid out, waiting to come in. When they sent the first one, excuse me, they sent it for a natural gas. And I called back and asked to have it spec to the diesel generator, and I hadn't heard back from those guys, and they're in Crossville, Tennessee. I can't remember the name of them right off the top of my head, but they're on this one from Bransford. It just says diesel generator. It don't have a name or a brand, and the guy told me a name. One of the guys that came out and did the inspection to see about where they were going to put it before they built this bid. But I can't for the life of me remember the name of it. I should have wrote it down, as bad as my memory is getting. But they were at 100,000, just under 100,000 at 99,781. And just take me a minute to pull that second one up. I should have had this in front of me tonight. I'm sorry. Somewhere around there.
So Cliff, while you're looking that up, I know there's dual fuels as far as propane and natural gas.
Yes, sir.
Is there one that runs on both diesel and natural gas?
Not that I'm aware of. And after talking to a lot of these guys on dual fuel generators,
Mhm.
139,770 is the cat. Uh, If if it has an engine issue internally, it's still not gonna run, no matter what kind of fuel we're lacking. Like we discussed, in previous meetings, the diesel, in my opinion, would be easier. You know, a tornado is gonna take out a 10, 12 mile swipe. We can go 20 miles in any direction and get some diesel. We have fuel tanks and, stuff like that to be able to transport diesel back and forth. So a natural gas, shortage would be the biggest issue. So in my opinion, that's just diesel is in the research I've done, diesel's been, the way to go. Wilson County, when they built the new jail, it's a diesel generator with no dual fuel backup. Those Sumner County Hospitals is a diesel. Sumner County Public Works runs diesel. So everybody around us is running diesel. So,
Well, and we might actually look into maybe a grant for running biodiesel and doing our own setup. Creating our own diesel that way.
yes,
That's something to look into also. Go ahead.
Just echoing his comment there, I will tell you that, natural gas in a state of emergency, any natural gas supply that's available will be diverted to the hospital first.
Mhm.
Will not be made available to us. Spending the money for a natural gas backup system it's pretty much, futile.
Yeah.
In that regard. Is that not true? Okay.
Yeah.
And then as far as the two bids that we have that are creditable bids, I mean, I'm all in favor with going with a national brand opposed to some third party
Mhm.
product, because this is a large investment. This is an investment that we need to be looking at as a long-term investment. We don't need to be going into this with a short-term set of, short-term vision.
Mhm.
Whereas we're gonna buy it in 7, 8, 9 years from now, if it's a problem, we'll get something. No. The cat product, in my opinion, has been my opinion all along. That would be what we would need,
Okay.
something with a warranty,
And also, I mean, 20 years down the road, you're still gonna be able to get parts for a Caterpillar.
100%.
Might not be able for a off-brand that might be $2,000 cheaper.
It looks like it's $30,000 cheaper or $39,000 cheaper,
That's a little different, but
but beware the high price of the good deal.
Cliff, is this the estimates on the original size that we were getting, or have you got different estimates after we found out we could?
what y'all expect, what we figured, what that building's ever drawn at max capacity and what we decided on at that last conversation is what, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's all been adjusted.
Cliff, can you send us those estimates so we can have those in front of us? I mean, if you can just forward the email. is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
possible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
that is one thing that I want to do on this committee, which I've done on codes and zoning, is to try to get as much information to you guys before our meetings so that everyone's up to speed. So when we come in, we can just tackle what jobs need to be tackled and then get home to our families. I don't like long meetings that are unproductive. So that's my thought. Is there anything else? Yes, sir. So, has the generator been voted on and approved? Okay, it wasn't in the last budget, was it not? Okay. So it'll have to come before the commission again and get voted on. Let's see, are there possibly grants out there to replace that? Okay. I'm afraid with the new administration coming in, grants are gonna get a little tight with federal spending, so anything we can grab ahead of time might be beneficial to the county. All right, well, if we don't have anything else, motion to adjourn. Do I hear anything? All right. Well, all in favor, say aye. We're adjourned.